Hey folks, Brian Blessing coming to you from Las Vegas. Glad to be with you here at BangTheBook.com, and it's the start of another season. Baseball this time around. And the one thing is, do you want to tie your money up? But if you're willing to do that, there may be some defined advantages for you with season-long Major League Baseball props. Glad to be with you here at BangTheBook.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Brian Blessing and follow us here at Bang the Book. All right, some of the cool props that are out there. How about most home runs by any player on the board at 48.5? Last year, Chris Davis had 48. J.D. Martinez, 43. Joey Gallo had 40. Could be sitting on marked improvement this year. Arenado led the way in the National League with 38. Most RBIs by any player is 130.5. You look at the RBI category last year, J.D. Martinez had 130.5. He led the way, truly had a special season for the Red Sox. The one I look at that's pretty intriguing, but I think there's a wild card in play here, and that's the most runs by any players on the board at 127.5. And I sit here and think that Mike Trout is the X factor. He's the wild card. The one rub you get with Trout is, can he stay healthy? Last year, he only had 471 at-bats. Martinez had 569 at-bats, scored 111 runs. Well, Trout, with only the 471 at-bats, don't forget, this guy's got a great eye. He gets on base all the time, a lot of intentional walks too. With the 471 at-bats, he scored 101 runs, and this is a category that he's won 4 of the last 7 years. So Trout's the X factor. If Trout stays healthy, I think most runs by any player, 127.5, that's a number that could go over the total. Most losses by any pitchers on the board at 17. Most wins by any pitcher is on the board at 20.5. Last year, Blake Snell had 21. Corey Kluber had 20 over the National League. 3 pitchers had 18 wins. Most hits by any player is 209.5. Most stolen bases, 50.5. Most strikeouts by any pitcher is on the board at 290.5. The most complete games by any pitcher in an era of specialization, how about this one, is only over/under 3.5. The one I'd be inclined to play is most saves by any pitcher is on the board at 48.5. When you think that Edwin Diaz last year had 57 saves, and he won that category by a ridiculous margin. So it comes down to, is the team good enough for this guy to get opportunities to get saves? But clearly, it was one player that went over that total. I think you could look under the 48.5 for most saves by a pitcher. And, of course, you get this new scenario in Tampa Bay. Other than Snell, who's just a stud, Tampa Bay may be starting middle relievers at the beginning of games, and there could be an entirely new approach by managers how they're going to handle their pitching rotations. So of the props that are on the board, I like most saves by any pitcher to go under the total of 49.5 as a brand new season of baseball's about to get underway. And we got our opportunity to follow along all season long with some creative props that are on the board. Always here to be with you in Las Vegas. Glad to follow along at Bang the Book on Twitter. And you can follow me at Brian Blessing. And I enjoy joining our good friend Adam Burke on the Bang the Book Sports Betting Podcast.